My name is Dana, and I will be presenting the intro PowerPoint today along with Clayton and Quay.
So these are the steps to becoming a paid member. Step 1, you can fill out our PPS membership form linked on the presentation. Step 2 is to pay the membership fee on Venmo at pps@uci. Step 3 is to email our internal vice president, Ali Mills, at her email to receive your PPS t-shirt. And finally, step 4, you can view your stamp count via our virtual stamp sheet.
So we have a pharmacy topic of the week today, and it's about nanodroplets and ultrasound drills proving effective at tackling tough blood clots. So just to give you guys a little background, this technique is designed to treat retracted blood clots, which form over extended periods of time, and they are especially dense. These clots are difficult to treat because they are less porous than other clots, making it more challenging for drugs to penetrate the clot. So this technique involves two components. The first component is the nanodroplets, which are lipid spheres filled with liquid perfluorocarbons, PFCs. And the second is ultrasound energy, which causes the PFCs to expand and vaporize the nanodroplets into microscopic bubbles.
So how does this work? Nanodroplets are first penetrating the clot site, and they're then converted to microbubbles when exposed to ultrasound. And this continuous ultrasound exposure oscillates the microbubbles, which helps to dissolve the clots. This vibration also creates larger holes in the clot mass, which allows blood-borne anti-clotting drugs to penetrate deep into the clot and further break it down. And although this technique has not undergone clinical testing, in vitro testing has shown promising results.
So to recap our last week's general meeting, thank you everyone who came. We hope you were able to learn a lot from Dr. Knox's presentation on psychiatric pharmacy.
We also wanted to thank everyone who participated in the I Love My Org contest. And, please help us win the contest by liking the post on this Instagram address here by Friday, February 12th. And, there's some very spicy financial incentives for us to win. So please come out and support PPS, and we really appreciate it.
So an upcoming event we have is our Week 7 general meeting, which will be taking place next Wednesday, February 17th from 6 to 7 p.m. on the same Zoom meeting link that we're using now. And why should you go? Because Loma Linda School of Pharmacy will be coming to give us a small info session on their PharmD program. And it's a great opportunity to learn more about their admissions and curriculum. So if you're interested, paid members will receive a stamp for attending. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact me at my email right there.
Something that me and my fellow board interns have worked very hard towards, and I'm extremely proud of, is to introduce you to the Board Intern Chipotle fundraiser. So the logistics of this fundraiser, it's going to take place at the UTC location, and you do have to participate at the specific date of Sunday, February 21st between 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I really hope that's convenient for you. And the reason why you should participate is to provide PPS with, a lot of the financial capabilities in order to provide you with events that hopefully you found valuable, such as PPD, and you can learn a lot from. So I truly hope that you've gotten a lot from PPS. I know I have. I've learned an immense amount of information about pharmacy, and I'm just incredibly grateful to be here. So please come out and support. And some important facts and incentives is that you're going to get 2 stamps as a paid member for every $10 you spend, and everyone, PPS member or not, so you go ahead and invite your family and friends, will be able to have a chance to participate in a raffle for a $10 Starbucks gift card if you would like. So please make sure to save your receipt And again, 33% of the profit will be donated to PPS. So in the email that you've just received this week, there's actually an interest form. And should you have any questions, please email me at this address. So please come out and support. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm your ambassador, Tyler. I'm here to talk about another upcoming event we have, and that's with SCPPS, or Southern California Pre-Pharmacy Symposium. And us, along with 7 other Southern California pre-pharmacy orgs, have hosted this event many times before. And essentially what it is, if you guys are similar to PPD, is a more focused PPD, I'd say. Well, PPD is more in tune to, oh, if you want to get into pharmacy school, how do you take the steps to do that? I think SCPPS is an event where if you already are set in pharmacy school, you can kind of see what paths in pharmacy are available to you. I know I always attend this event and learn a lot from it, so I think you guys will have a great time. So this event will take place Saturday, February 27th of this year, and take place from 9:30 to 5. I know it sounds like maybe a long time on Zoom, but there is like an hour and a half break for lunch and whatnot, so don't worry about that. If you're interested, sign up in the Google form provided here, and registrations close 2 weeks from now, Wednesday, February 24th. If you are interested, paid members will receive a stamp for attending. And if you have any questions or concerns about this event, please contact the email down below.
And another upcoming event we have is the Roastman at UCI Mixer. So excited to announce this event for you guys. It is our first mixer of the school year, and it's going to be taking place on Saturday, March 6th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Once you sign up on the registration form, the Zoom link will be sent to you. And why should you attend this event? Because it is a great opportunity to learn more about Roseman University's unique 3-year PharmD program. And we are inviting a lot of their faculty members and pharmacy students. So this is also an amazing opportunity to network and build connections with those fellow faculty members and pharmacy students. And we're also be playing a lot of fun games. So it's an all around just a fun event and a great event for you to get more introduced into Roseman University. So if you're interested, please fill out the registration form by Wednesday, March 3rd at 11:59 p.m. There will be raffle prizes that will be given out, and paid members will receive a stamp for attending. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this event, feel free to go ahead and contact me at my email.
A volunteering opportunity that we have is Coach Art. What is it? Coach Art allows volunteers to virtually teach a young person impacted by chronic illness about either sports or arts. This is a great and fun way to help kids see themselves more as athletes and artists and less as patients. You can choose to help volunteer anytime you choose, and the requirement is to do 8 one-hour lessons. If you're interested, you can view this website for more information, and paid members can receive a stamp by filling out the Google form and send a screenshot of proof that you have applied by tonight, February 10th at 11:59 p.m. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact our president, Jenny, at her email. For those of you who have ordered a PPS hoodie, they are finally ready for pickup. If you have any questions, you can contact our publicity chair, Christine, at her email below.
Another very exciting fundraiser that we're hosting is the PPS Jamba Juice BOGO Card fundraiser. So what's really cool about it is that for the price of $10, you actually receive a $35 value, because if you buy 1 drink, you actually get the value of 6 additional drinks. So if you buy 1 smoothie, you get 6 for free. So thank you so much, Ryan, for finding out about this event and hosting it, because I think that our members who are avid fans of Jamba Juice are going to find a lot of value from this. And so if you're interested, click this link, which will be provided to you on the next weekly email. And should you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email Ryan at this address below. Yay, the podcast, incredibly exciting. I found so much value from this ZRX podcast that is also hosted by Ryan. And episode 5 has just come out. It's about our former PPS president, Justin Ma. And in this podcast, he is essentially looking to share his successful journey with us throughout pharmacy. And something that I found very interesting is that Dr. Ma actually completed his pharmacy degree at an out-of-state institution. So if you want to find out which one, then you have to watch the podcast. This program actually allowed him to thrive and really discover his passion and his niche in pharmacy. So he is having a wonderful time doing what he loves. So the contact information is, again, should you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email Ryan. And Dr. Ma has been generous enough to actually provide us with his social media accounts through Instagram and LinkedIn. So if you're interested in connecting with him, then please contact him in the addresses below.
Feel free to stay connected with us by following our social media. We have a Facebook page as well as Instagram, and you can join our Discord server as well as a Discord server shared with the other UCI PharmSci orgs. We also have our website and a Zoom study room, as well as a collaborative playlist on Spotify.
All right, and without further ado, please welcome Ms. Jocelyn Peraza and Ms. Pauline Padua.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jocelyn Peraza. We're here representing Western University. Really excited to be able to present to you guys a little bit more about Western University and answer any questions that you may have. So again, my name is Jocelyn Peraza. I am a first-year student, pharmacy student at Western University. I graduated in 2013 from UC Berkeley with a major in molecular and cell biology and a minor in nutritional science. And then after I graduated from Berkeley, I took 2 years to finish up my prerequisite courses. And then I got into Western University. But I'm also here with Pauline.
Hi, everyone. I'm a first-year pharmacy student as well. I graduated from UC Davis with a BS in psychology. So I got a good chunk of my prereqs from psychology, but I decided to do pharmacy later. So I also took more prereqs at a community college and retook some classes. And I never had this type of introduction to pharmacy, so I really hope we have some helpful information for you all.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and share the presentation. Okay, I apologize for the little square here on the side, but I just like to see people when I'm presenting, just so I feel like I'm not talking to myself. But let me just go ahead and hide meeting controls. There we go. All right, so again, we're from Western University. So here, as our founding president said, skilled hands and compassionate hearts will continue to be the signature of all our graduates, exactly what is needed in healthcare today. So the big thing about Western University, it's a very family-oriented college and program. It's one of the main things that actually attracted me to Western University, because whenever I would meet the faculty or when I had the opportunity to go to campus, it always felt like a family, like I felt like I was meant to be here. So I think that's very important when deciding where you want to go to school. And then, so a little bit about Western U. We're actually a nonprofit independent college. We were established in 1977. We have over 3,800 students enrolled at Western University. And we are also the largest health professions graduate school in California, including 9 colleges and 21 academic programs, which I'll talk about right now. So here are some of the doctorate degree programs at Western U. As you can tell, there are very different fields, but today we're going to be focusing on the Doctor of Pharmacy, which is a 4-year program. And then if you don't want to get your doctorates, then you also have the opportunity to get your master's degree. You can get a Master of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences, which is a 2-year program. So that's also something you can look into if you're interested. And then this is probably the most important slide here, which is talking about the prerequisite coursework. The coursework for this year might be a little different because of COVID. I know they took some requirements out. So definitely when you're starting to apply, definitely look at the Western University prerequisite website. So it should definitely help you. But the main thing I do want to point out from here is that all prerequisites must be completed with a grade of C or better. And you also have to complete all your prerequisites by the end of the spring term prior to when you graduate. So it doesn't count if you take something in the fall, you have to take it into the spring. And then also you have to take your courses for a letter grade. It cannot be taken as a pass or fail. But let's say if you do get a C- or a lower grade in one of these prerequisites, you can definitely retake the course and Western University will count that higher grade for you. Sorry, let me just move. This is also something very, very important. It's the prerequisite database. So this allows you to type in the school you're currently in or where you plan to take your prerequisites and make sure that they actually meet the prerequisites at Western University. So you can just Google Western University College of Pharmacy prerequisite database and it should take you here. You just look up your school and then it gives you all the prerequisites and what classes they satisfy. But if a class you took is not listed there and you believe it should count, you can also do the prerequisite verification form where you fill out your information, the prerequisite you hope to satisfy, and then your course department and number for that class. And then someone should get back to you between like 1 to 2 days telling you if they do accept it or not. So admissions requirements. So in addition to the course requirements, you also need an average competitive overall GPA of 3.4, and then the average competitive science GPA is 3.38. But one thing I want to say, if your GPA is not up to this, do not feel discouraged. You can definitely still apply because there are a lot of things that actually take into account in your application, such as your letters of reference, your personal questionnaire, your transcripts, the prerequisites that you're taking, and the secondary application. So you need 3 letters of reference from either professors, academic advisors, employers, pharmacists, or alumni. I was able to get 2 letters of recommendation from my pharmacy managers when I worked as a pharm tech, and then from 1 professor from my community college where I took a course at. Also, I want to emphasize there is a secondary application for Western University. A lot of times students just do the PharmCast application and then don't do the Western University secondary application. So definitely when you finish the PharmCast application, go on the Western U website and look into the secondary application. And then the admissions process, the completed file is transferred to the College of Pharmacy Admissions Committee for evaluation. That's then evaluated by college faculty. And then you have the interviews. So the interviews are by invitation. You're usually with multiple interviewers. So when I had my interview, it was a faculty member and then a current student. And then this past semester, I also volunteered to do the interviews. So it was myself and then as well as another faculty member. But it can also be an alumni or a preceptor also doing the interviews. The main thing that they're looking for in the interview is communication and interpersonal skills. So I know this sounds a little cliche, but it's definitely important to be yourself and also show your passion during the interview process. I think that's something that really helped me stand out. So during this time, you also have a writing sample and a critical thinking assessment. They just want to see how well you write, how well you can communicate, and how well you can think critically, which are all very important things. And then your status letters are sent a week after the interview with monthly updates for those that are on the alternate list. So you can either be accepted on the alternate list or not accepted. And Pauline?
Okay, so tuition for this academic year is $50,675, but you can apply for financial aid to cover education expenses, housing, supplies, transportation. How much you get is determined by your ability to pay for college. So if you have any questions, you could go ahead and send them an email or give them a call. And then you can also apply for scholarships. There's about $320,000 in scholarships. Some require essays, some just have certain requirements. And these are awarded from pharmacies or ethnic associations. So they go ahead and donate to a Western and you could get a scholarship for that. So if you're interested in a career in health system pharmacy, you can join ASHP or CSHP, which is the California Society of Health System. And we could go on to the next slide. So the role of a pharmacist in the health system includes working with other healthcare providers to promote health and prevent disease, dispense prescription medications, compound medications, monitor and evaluate drug therapy and drug-drug interactions, and calculate dosing for medications. And pharmacists also recommend non-prescription medications to patients, recommend treatment plans to other healthcare providers, conduct and evaluate clinical research, administer immunizations, educate patients and other healthcare providers. So there's a lot of places a pharmacist can work in, or different fields. There is academia, so being a professor, working with students, or being a preceptor. There's community, also known as retail pharmacy. That's like independent pharmacies or Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid. There is consulting, where you could help patients manage their medications. There's also industry, where it's based on research and drug development, or the marketing, and you could also follow up with patients on investigational drugs. There's also institutions, so hospital or ambulatory care, and also regulatory, so working for the government like the DEA or FDA. And then there's other ones like mail order, specialty pharmacy. So there's a lot of fields for pharmacy. So where can a pharmacist work? So there's a lot of places, and you'll get to experience these different places when you go on your rotations. So in 2018, according to pay scale, in California, the pharmacist salary ranges from $80,335 to $140,958, with the median being $113,451. And a lot of things can factor into this, such as location, field of pharmacy. But as you can see, it's a quite rewarding profession.
All right. So this is actually our class. This is the closest thing we have to a class picture since we're mostly on Zoom. So this is during one of the counseling assessments that we had. So that's why we're all in our white coats. So who are we? As Pauline mentioned, we're the California Society of Health System Pharmacists. So the purpose of this organization is to provide students an opportunity to become knowledgeable about pharmacy practices and organized healthcare settings. So if you really wanted to pursue a residency after your career, after your time here, this is definitely the organization for you. So some activities that we have many guest speakers, pharmacists that come. We also do health fairs for our community where we measure cholesterol, blood pressure, BMI, blood glucose, etc. Unfortunately, this past year, we were unable to have these health fairs because of COVID, but I am looking forward to them in the future. We also have our residency roundtable. So residency roundtable allows the opportunity for students to learn directly from students currently in their residency about different fields of practice in the health system pharmacy and become better prepared to apply for residency in the future. So resident students from different programs come and speak to us. We also have legislative awareness. We have what is called a legislative day, where it's a collaboration with fellow student organizations to bring the latest legislative updates to students. So we have many guest speakers who come to speak to us about that. We also have many local associations in the Inland Empire, Orange County, and San Gabriel Valley. We also have a membership appreciation where we show our members appreciation by giving them gifts. We also have ASHP mid-year in 2018. It took place in Anaheim. So this is actually a clinical meeting. It's mostly aimed for students in their 3rd and 4th years who are in the process of applying for residency. So there are many pharmacist exhibitions that students can attend, and they're able to network with these pharmacists, these programs, and other fellow students. We also have a Match Me residency education collaboration with ROCHI, which is our honor society. So basically just, again, educating students about the process of applying for residency. And we have much, much more. So here are some pictures of our health fairs. Of course, these were from the past. And then here is our residency roundtable. And then our legislative day. Again, legislative day this past semester was also online. So that's the presentation. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me here. And if I can't answer your question, I can definitely forward it to someone else who can. But we can definitely open up the floor for questions.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat.
Hello, I guess I can start by asking why did you guys choose Western?
I can go first. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I actually chose Western because well, first of all, it was really close to my home. And second of all, I've only heard good things about Western. I know one big factor was that they get for the NAPLEX, right? They have really good NAPLEX scores. That's definitely a big factor once you graduate from school. And also just the environment. And when I went to my interview, they were very friendly and welcoming. So
yeah, I had a lot of similar reasons. Since I did my undergraduate in Northern California, I did want to come back home. So I did want to apply school near here. I was between Touro University and then Western University. But then as I learned more about Western, I also met a Western intern when I worked at CVS Pharmacy, and he loved it. So that's when I started doing more research about it, and I was like, this is the school for me. And then just everybody's so nice, the faculty, your fellow peers. It's just a very welcoming environment, and you can really tell that the faculty cares about your success and wants you to grow and learn. I think that's very important.
I have a question. So I think we have a lot of members that are interested in attending Western University. So I was wondering if you had any tips for them on how they could be like a competitive applicant since you both like applied and are going to Western right now.
Yeah, I think for me, I think what helped me out would probably be my letter of recommendations. I feel like mine were pretty strong from my pharmacy manager. And I also chose a professor who I did really well in their class, and I could prove that I did really well in their class. And I feel like that really helped me out with admissions.
I also think your secondary application essays that you write play a big role into it, because that's definitely a way for you to sort of explain if you had any like rough patches in your undergraduate career. So it does give you that chance to sort of elaborate and show your passion. I also think the interview is very important. I actually had a really, I was lucky enough to have a really great interview. It felt more like a conversation. We actually like went past the time that we were supposed to do it just because we were just chatting. So I think just knowing why you want to go into pharmacy is very important.
Thank you.
So on one of your slides, I saw that you had an event called Residency Roundtable. Could you go into more depth about what that is?
Yeah. So like I mentioned before, it's basically where we get residents, people that are currently doing their residency who come and talk to us. It's basically just like a little lunch that you have with them, and you're able to speak with them, ask them any questions, sort of learn about the experience of getting into residency. Fortunately, this past semester we weren't able to have it, so I haven't experienced it myself. But if you do have any other further questions, I can definitely forward you to someone in my board, P2, who has done it before.
Hello.
Hi.
From what I've gathered, I believe that you've both kind of taken a bit of a hiatus in order to, strengthen your application. But what were kind of the catalysts that propelled you to really commit yourself to pharmacy and decide to ultimately attend pharmacy school, because it is a big investment?
Well, I know I chose pharmacy because I think it's a very good work-life school balance. So that's definitely something that I like about the degree, is that I could work and learn at the same time. And you learn from internships and you learn when you're on rotations. And, you know, I, I liked working in the pharmacy. So it just felt right for me to go that pathway. And that's what kind of paved the way for me.
For me, I always knew that I wanted to go into healthcare, just because a lot of personal reasons that my family's been through was just something very important to me. But for most of my life, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what a pharmacist actually was until I got into college. But for me, my biggest turning point was when I went on a medical brigade to Honduras, where I actually was able to work alongside with the pharmacist for the first time, and sort of seeing like the really big role that they play in patient care and how you're able to have really close connections with your patients, I think was very important to me, because I always thought I wanted to do research, but I was like, I want to have that personal interaction with the person that I'm helping. So that kind of led me a little bit more into that. And that's when I started doing my own research. I did attend like the Northern California Pre-Pharmacy Symposium. So I think SoCal also has one too. That was also great, dipping my toes in, seeing what it's all about. But I think the biggest thing is just that interaction with patients is very important to me, and the biggest reason why I chose pharmacy.
Thank you so much for your answers.
Hi, I got another question. I don't know. if I actually have two. So since you guys are first year's pharmacy students, I was wondering if you have any sort of rotations yet. What are the experience? And second of all, so far from the courses, no, from the classes that you have taken, do you have a specific professor or specific mentor that really inspired you, like on continuing to follow what you're doing now?
In our first year, we're currently in our community rotations. So during this time, we go to retail pharmacies, so like CVS, Rite Aid, Costco. We also can go into independent pharmacies. So with that, our class is actually split up into two groups. There's group 1 and group 2. Group 1 goes first. So you do that for 4 weeks. It's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Now it's from 1 to 6:30. So between that time, you're at that pharmacy. It is a very helpful experience, especially for people who don't have experience in pharmacy. I think that's a very good start. And then throughout the years is when you start going into hospital and like more specific rotations. And then in regards to classes and professors, it really depends because you learn so much. And I think for me, I did have a professor who stood out to me. His name was Dr. Hada. Just his attitude is just, he's the sweetest. And like I said, you can really tell that the faculty is there to support your growth and make sure that you actually learn. But definitely you learn so many different things that you didn't even know pharmacists can do. So it's just basically what you're into.
Yeah. I know for me, one thing that drew me to pharmacy school was while I was working at a community pharmacy, I was really concerned with opioids and opioid addiction. So right now we're learning from Dr. Nazarian about opioids and addiction, tolerance, and all of that. And so I really think that's interesting. He does research on opioid addictions. So that's definitely one class that I was excited to learn. And yeah, that's one of my interests that actually drew me to pharmacy school. And I hope to actually progress further and do more work in that.
There's also a self-care course you take. So you basically learn about all the different over-the-counter items. And that's really interesting, like realizing that a lot of like the cough and cold all have the same ingredients when you really look at it. So it's just like turns your world upside down. So that was also an interesting class.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask if you guys could each describe what a typical day would look like, or I guess a typical day on Zoom University, right?
Yeah, so usually class starts at 8. The schedule changes though. Right now, first group is going on rotations, so then class would end at 12 and then they go on rotations. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like, Jocelyn, I feel like you have the good rundown of how like classes are for each year, right?
Kind of, I can explain your
Okay.
first year. So your first year, on Mondays, it's usually that self-care class, which usually runs from like 8 a.m. to 3. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays for a month, you do go on rotation. So classes from 8 to 12, and then rotations from 1 to 6:30. But let's say like you're in group 2 and group 1 is doing the rotations, then you finish at 12. You have the rest of the day to yourself, which is nice. And then on Wednesdays right now are currently our longest day. We're there from 8 to about 5. Because we do have an interprofessional course that runs from 3 to 5. So that's basically you meet with students from other professions in the school and sort of work on a project together. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, sometimes the days are pretty long. But That's your first year. Your first year, you're also taking multiple courses at the same time. You can have about like 4 to 5 courses going on. Your second year is when you start the block schedule, so that you focus on one course for a month, and then you have like a day break, and then you start your next course, which is also a month. So that's a little bit nicer because you can focus on one specific topic at a time. And then your third year, your first semester, you do didactic, which is classes again. And then your second semester of your third year and your fourth year is when you're on your like specific clinical rotations. So you don't, no more classes at that point. Any questions about that? I know it can be a little confusing just because it's kind of all over the place.
So I guess building on top of that question, which year in pharmacy school would you say would be your busiest?
I think class-wise, it's first year, right? Like with courses, but then rotations would be third and fourth. Would be busy with rotations, right?
Yeah, I think your first year, it's just a lot of heavy workload, and then the workload comes less, but the classes get harder. So it's just that balance of both. But definitely your first year is a little bit more stressful, I want to say.
So we still have time for a few questions if anyone wants to ask. Or if not, we could end the meeting a little early.
I had a quick question, if it's okay. I believe it was Jocelyn, you mentioned that in between, before going to pharmacy school, that you went to Honduras. Did I hear that correctly?
So actually, when I was a part of medical brigades, I went my junior year, winter of junior year.
To Honduras?
For
What
a
did you
week.
do? Oh, what did you do there, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh yeah, it's basically a medical brigade. So there you work alongside doctors, optometrists, dentists, pharmacists, and basically help rural communities in Honduras. So you go to the specific place and then you set up a clinic in like one of the schools that they have there. And then you have patients coming from a lot of nearby towns because this is probably the easiest access they have to healthcare, which is very sad to see. But you're there for a week and you rotate. You can do triage, or you can be in the pharmacy, or you can be helping the doctors with consultations. So it's a really good experience for sort of just to see everything in the field of pharmacy.
Is that only like a program that's in Honduras, or is it throughout like Central America?
There are different programs like medical brigades that go to different places. I think there's one in Africa. I forget where the other ones are, but it's not just Honduras. It's different places. Yeah.
Okay. No, I was just curious from El Salvador. And I was always interested in going back and seeing if there's any programs like that.
Oh, you're from Salvador? Me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I can put my email in the chat, and then if you ever have any questions in the future, you can always reach out.
Thank you so much for doing so. And also thank you, Pauline and Jocelyn, for coming to speak to our general members today. We really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to come here. I know you guys said Wednesdays are your longest days, so thank you so much. Can we get a round of applause for our guest speakers, please?
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Take care.
Before we end the meeting, could we get a group photo, actually?
Oh, yeah.
So if everyone, if you're comfortable with turning on your cameras, please do so. And Chantel, sorry, it's my alarm. And Chantel, whenever you're ready, can you give us a countdown?
Sure thing. So I'll be taking the photos in 3, 2, 1. Okay, one more photo. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a lovely evening. And yeah, good luck on any upcoming exams you guys have. Bye.
Thank you everyone for joining.